Hi, welcome to Capoeira with Soquete. In this video, we're going to be looking at some intermediate and advanced concepts for Meia Lua de Compasso. We're going to look at the hand positions and see how they differ between two hands and one hand. We're also going to look at the no-handed Meia Lua de Compasso. Yes, I understand it can be a little tricky, but once we understand how it works, then we can make it work for us. In the last video, we looked at the basic mechanics of the two-handed Meia Lua de Compasso. How to position your hips, your hands and your head in order to maintain visual contact. How it's important to keep your center of gravity as far forward as possible over the pivot point. We also reminded you of the three phases of any kick: the loading phase, the release phase, and the reset. You will need to keep that in mind, especially when looking at the no-handed version. For the two-handed Meia Lua de Compasso, we keep the elbows bent as we rotate at the shoulders, keeping the head moving upside down as we place our hands on the floor behind the base leg, usually with one hand on each side of the foot, fingers pointing in the direction of rotation. Remember how important it is that we keep our eyes on our opponent all the way around. Their hands are usually on the floor at or around the time the foot leaves the floor and the kick is released. Again, note that the hands are behind the base leg. When going from two hands to one-handed Meia Lua de Compasso, the head movement and the lower body are basically the same. The real changes need to happen with our elbows and our shoulders. When using one hand, the arm that was your protection in your jinga is the arm that never touches the floor. It gives us drive into the kick during the loading phase, safety as our heads return from the rotation, and stability as we reset. We need to start by setting the heels and hips, keeping our elbows bent as we rotate at the shoulders. Our head is still moving upside down as we lean deeper into our hip. The arm that was in your jinga position should still be bent as you're rotating through your shoulders. Now it needs to go behind your ribs. Its job is to make it around to the front first, so that your body can spin around and catch up with the forearm. It should be already set to protect your face when you return. The hand needs to touch down much later in our rotation than the two-handed Meia Lua de Compasso. It should land around the time the kick reaches the apex of its arc. When it does touch the floor, it should just be a slap of the palm beside your base foot to help you recalibrate your balance, much further around than in comparison with the two-handed version. So let's consider how this works with the three phases of any kick. The loading phase is where you set your heels and hips, lower your head upside down as your arms and shoulders rotate into position. The jinga arm stays bent as it is sent behind your ribs. Your head should be looking upside down through your armpit. By now you've generated sufficient torque. Release your kick as you watch your target. Your face should pass behind and close to your base leg to keep your weight forward over the pivot point. Slap your hand on the floor beside your base leg as the kick reaches the apex of its arc. This initiates the reset phase. As you continue rotating, your head should come up the other side behind your jinga arm. The forearm should already be set to protect you as your head comes back to the front. As your kicking leg is landing, it is essential that you bend your knees straight away. This gives balance and stability. It ensures that your hips are facing the front and that your heel is high. It also stops you from over-rotating and coming up too early, potentially into a counter kick. Stay low at the end until you know it is safe to move back into your jinga movements. When performing a no-handed Meia Lua de Compasso, all of the rules of the one-handed version are still in play. The only thing is you just don't touch the floor. Sounds easy, right? Well, it can be if we understand what to do with our arms and our shoulders. Bend the elbow on your down arm, bring it up near your jinga arm, and make two fists. Keep your fists close together as you rotate your shoulders and punch your opposite shoulder. Then back to punch the other shoulder. That's the secret to this kick. You will need to keep your wrists at the same distance all the way through the kick as you load, release, and reset while keeping your elbows bent. The first punch happens during the loading phase. As your hips and head are setting up the kick, the arm that was by your side needs to punch the opposite shoulder, while the arm that was in jinga position drives behind your ribs. The first punch needs to stay in contact with that shoulder for the entirety of the release phase. Once the kick has passed the apex of its arc, it's time to start your reset by quickly punching the other shoulder to bring balance and stability to your upper body as you complete your rotation. Make sure you bend your kicking leg as you land. The absolute best way I've found to teach and train this technique is by making students hold something like a bandana or a small towel in their hands to ensure their wrists maintain the same distance throughout the kick. It's really surprising how much this helps. An added benefit from training the no-handed Meia Lua de Compasso is that it will serve to improve your one-handed Meia Lua de Compasso as well. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that the ideas presented here help you to better understand these techniques and subsequently help you to improve yours. If you found any of this information helpful, then please take a moment to hit that subscribe button and take a look at some of the other videos on this channel. Thanks for watching.